Live from Kentucky and Louisiana, 2 Marines, 1 mission. This is Sense and Senseless.
But let's do this. So let's go right. So everybody's happy that the government's open again, right?
Yes.
You know, we got the government shut down, and that's done. You know, people can get SNAP benefits back, which I did see the other day that Trump might have them reapply for SNAP benefits because it's like what you was talking about earlier.
Well, I think people got them back because, not trying to call my area out, but I'll call them out again. I went to Walmart this afternoon to get some stuff, and it was pretty packed for a Saturday, and it wasn't the first of the month. And I've seen a lot of people. I'm not trying to tag people that are on it, but you know, when somebody's got a full shopping cart, even people with money can't afford a full shopping cart. So
yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I mean, if you cover the bottom of the basket, that's $100.
Yeah. So I seen
just covering the bottom. It's not full.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of full shopping carts, and it wasn't like, you can tell when people are buying stuff for like a youth dinner or a social event or something. You know what I'm saying? No, they had all the essentials in there for SNAP. So I didn't see them.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of places might have done that. I mean, maybe
I think they opened it back up, Brian, but I think they are wanting to start vet. That's what I'm hearing, is because of they've already dug into, like, I forget how many thousand dead people are collecting SNAP benefits. Walmart's making a lot of deliveries out to the cemetery. Dead people got to eat too, Brian.
But problem is, though, is the Republicans, you know, beating their chests, you know, because they done this, you know, they helped all this out. They stopped the Democrats from putting all this fluff into, you know, the CR bill that's, you know, for 6 weeks.
Yeah, but didn't you have something showing that they have fluff in there too?
I think a lot of people miss the fact that, you know, if you go back to this probe of Arctic frost, so Arctic frost was when the Democratic Party, or maybe not Democratic Party, the Democratic Congress people or whatnot, was getting cell phone data on certain Republican senators.
Mm-hmm.
And they found out about all this, and they, you know, they're a little butthurt, let's just say the least. I'm gonna let this senator explain to y'all exactly what they're doing with this CR to make their lives better, but, you know, fuck the January 6 people that got spied on.
Mr. Scott, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, by the way, this is a little long, but it's a good listen.
Provision that they put in last night. I found out about it sometime around 9 o'clock. And I'll just be honest with you, Mr. Cole, I represent a lot of people that work for the federal government, Robins Air Force Base, Moody Air Force Base, USDA, I could go down the list. And I was very excited about coming back to Washington, D.C. to vote to open the government back up. And then when I saw what the Senate did last night, I'll be honest, I had a hard night. And I've been struggling with what the right vote is because of what the Senate did. It says that cause of action, and this is on page 224, any senator whose Senate data or the Senate data of whose Senate office has been acquired, subpoenaed, searched, accessed, or disclosed in violation of this section may bring a civil action against the United States if the violation was committed by an officer, employee, or agent of the United States or of any federal department of agent or agency. Relief. If the senator prevails on a claim under this subsection, the court shall, not may, shall award for each instance of a violation of this section the greater of, not the lesser of, the greater of statutory damages of $500,000 or the amount of actual damages, reasonable attorney fees, cost of litigation. And it goes on from there. Now, there's other language in here, waiver of sovereign immunity, no qualified immunity. And there's other language in here, too, that indicates that each line would be an additional payment. And so most of us as members have a campaign phone, a campaign email, a personal phone, a personal email, and then a business phone and a business email. That's 6 violations the way they count it. if they went for all of them. 6, minimum of $500,000 apiece. My understanding is that Chuck Schumer was very much aware and signed off on this particular language as well. So just, y'all might want to ask questions about that. I'm just telling the truth on this. Is as soon as I found out about it, I started asking questions. Thing that I can't get past, though, and this is, again, I mean, for the American citizens, if you go to page 227 of the bill, limited retroactive applicability. In general, the amendments made by this section shall apply to any acquisition, subpoena, search, accessing, disclosure of Senate data as defined in Section 10A of the Legislative Branch Appropriations Act of 2005, and to any failure to disclose such an acquisition, subpoena, search, accessing, or disclosure occurring on or after January 1 of 2022. So it's given them the ability to retroactively go back. We know, you literally know who, at least, we may not know all of them, but we at least know the list of some of them.
Yeah, now, how messed up is that, the retroactive? Now, I want to say this first. I know it was a little long, and I did do a little bit of editing to that, but just enough to where you get full details, because I wanted everyone to fully understand, what was coming out. And that was Representative Scott from Georgia. But yeah, I mean, how screwed up is that for them to retroactive this? I mean,
well, not only is it going forward, but they're backing it up to, like you said, that issue where you had how many of them?
Well, that's Arctic Frost. So you got Lindsey Graham. These are the ones that were listed.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham,
right?
The Republican from South Carolina. Marsha Blackburn, Republican, Tennessee. Bill Haggerty, Republican, Tennessee.
Right.
Josh Hawley, Republican, Missouri. Dan Sullivan, Republican, Arkansas. Tommy Tuberville, Republican, Alabama. Ron Johnson, Republican, Wisconsin. Cynthia Loomis, Republican, Wyoming. And then additional senators faced attempts, though carriers sometimes refused to comply. So AT&T pushed back on Ted Cruz, Republican of Texas, and then there was some disclosures that's targeted for Rick Scott, Republican, Florida. So that's all Republicans. That's what, like 10 total or something like that, 8, 10 total. All Republicans.
And they about to get some fat checks.
Yeah, and then Schumer signed off on it?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. See, that should have been, he should have been bringing that straight to the podium, calling that out. Look what these Republicans are doing. They're saying we're the ones wanting our agenda to pass, and that's why we're shutting down the government. Look what they're putting in here. Nobody brings this up until it's passed.
And it's passed. And like this guy goes on to say, is, and I didn't want to extend it, but he says, I can bring this up to a vote again, but the only people suffering are the people of the United States.
Yeah.
Because you put this in here at the last minute, and for us to bring it back to a vote, they would have to decline this, send it back to Congress, and then you shut the government back down.
Right. And if I ain't
so
mistaken,
they knew what they were doing.
Well, the government's only temporarily open till January 3rd.
For 6 weeks.
Can they bring this up or no? I think it's done deal, right? Because I think it passed.
I don't know. I don't know if they can bring that up in 6 weeks or not, but even if they couldn't, I'm sure they would make sure that they got all this shit through so they can at least get their $3 million. I mean, that is just, it's fucked up. I mean, at the least level, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's not the Democrats, it's the Republicans. So anybody listening to this crap, understand that it's both sides. It's so corrupt up in that place. You don't know who to trust, Brian. You don't.
And these guys that were surveilled for January 6th. I mean, let's set aside the people that went inside the Capitol. Let's set aside those guys.
Right.
Yeah, I don't agree with what happened to them, but just for the sake of argument, let's set them aside.
Right.
How many people outside of the Capitol, that was geo-fenced and asked for their information and asked for their bank records, to see who took money out and to find out who was there? Where's their $500,000?
Yeah. No, this is going straight to representatives in Congress and
yeah.
So
it wasn't a problem until they found out they were being spied upon. That's the problem. Yeah. It's not the American citizen. When they get spied upon, it's a fucking problem.
Yeah. Hey, the unit we were in the Marine Corps, remember getting with intel and all that stuff on deployments, the stuff that they could do. I mean, yeah, that the government's all fine and dandy on that until it happens to them.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you're a representative of the public, and you're their leader.
What's 500,000 going to do? What we talked about this earlier before the show. Why 500,000? Is that going to fix?
I don't know.
No, seriously. Was there pain and suffering? I mean, when's enough? I mean, we don't have the money to be doing that crap.
Evidently we do, because our senators are putting it through.
I just don't. And then you get a Democrat, like I said, that can't stand these dudes that signed, that he said knew the verbiage and signed off on it. I'm just telling y'all, y'all might want to look into that.
And look at this other one. I mean, so you got Carville saying what's going to happen in 2028. They're going to take over everything in the Supreme Court justice. So now they, retroact everything that they do to the 70s, and anything that happened, they get paid to do it. I mean, where does this shit stop?
Yeah.
Yep. Where does it stop? And then I don't have this in there, but I heard this the other day, and this pissed me off. Since we're on a pissed off, Kristi Noem came on television, and I'm exercising on my elliptical, and I'm watching, I don't know, Newsmax or something. I don't remember what the hell I was watching, but she comes on, and they're giving $10,000 checks to the TSA agents that stayed in, and worked through this shutdown.
Yeah, okay. I see that.
Look, I'm not mad that the TSA agents are getting $10,000. What I'm mad about is, why do you think that because you as the government fucked up and caused this shutdown, that you think it's okay to give them our fucking money?
Yeah.
If you want to give them your money because you fucked up, take it out of your goddamn pockets. Take it out of your campaigns and pay it. Don't take it out of our tax money.
Yeah.
You fucked up. Not us.
Where's my $10,000 for working through a government shut? I don't work for the government, but I still work. They were still taking taxes out of my. Hey, that didn't shut down, did it?
No, that's because they were giving $10,000 to the TSA agents. Which, again, don't get me wrong. I mean, you did your job, so be it. I mean, do I agree with $10,000?
No. And hey, hats off to you guys that didn't get a paycheck and we're still working. Thank you. We're not trying to.
Thank all of you.
Yeah, we're not trying to.
That's not
just
the point.
Like the military. I mean, Brian, are they gonna pay off the military too for?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, where does this
when do we stop? When do we stop?
And $10,000 is just a little extreme, in my opinion. I mean, if you're going to give them back pay, okay, I get that. And, maybe if you want to give them $1,000 or so, I mean, okay, that's a good little bonus. $10,000 is a pretty good chunk of change for an average person like us. I don't know what the hell they're thinking, because $10,000 to them probably
get
nothing.
A TSA job, dude, because I mean, dang, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I'm going to get a TSA job, because but I mean, again, it's not them. My problem's with the government. You caused this fucking problem,
right?
And then you taking it out of our money,
right?
It's not your money, but you're giving it to TSA agents. So we're not going to tell you no, not to do it, because we respect those people, and that's how they play you. And then if she gets on here and makes this big speech like she's something, what the fuck did you do?
Right.
You part of the problem.
Yeah.
Until I don't know, man.
New tonight, what burns Brian's ass?
Yeah, tonight on tonight's episode.
A flame this tall. That's what burns us.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. So their answer is to make us all happy and make all this better. They're going to
50-year loans and $2,000.
50-year loan and a $2,000 stimmy check. I mean, that's their fucking answer. I mean,
that'll shut them up.
A 50-year loan. Yeah, that'll shut. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, we're such idiots. If I can just finance a home for 600 months, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I want a 20-year loan on my car and a 50-year loan on my house, and I'll just pay on that for the rest of my life. That only makes the banks richer, and all these
remember when car notes were only like 3 years? You could only get a car loan for like 3 years. Now you can get like a.
People didn't stretch themselves so fucking thin.
Well, I mean, I seen a TikTok dude where a guy with
credit cards.
Hey, he was looking at F-250s and F-350s at a lot, and he goes, "Man, this one's only $81,000." I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
God!"
The top one was like 125.
I mean, that's housing prices.
I know.
And if you listen to this and you don't think that's housing prices, then I mean, you're doing a lot better than I am. You know?
Yeah. My truck's paid off. I'm
but that's
done.
a lot of money,
dude. I'm driving
me
that
too.
thing till
My
the engine
vehicles are
falls
paid
out.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a small house. I mean, we do good, you know. But I mean, all right. So, if you took a 20-year mortgage out, which right now the normal rates are going for 6.5 to 7%. So if we say 7%, that's going to cost you $556,000 in interest in
On a 50-year
years.
loan.
If on a 50-year loan, $200,000.
A $200,000 loan.
Yep, you're gonna pay back $756,000. $750,000. It makes a lot of fucking sense. There you go, guys. I know the economy sucks. I know you can't buy a home, and we're gonna take $500,000 of money out
the payment?
because we fucked up. Yeah, but here you go. You get a 50-year loan.
Yeah, but what's the monthly payment, Brian?
The monthly payment's $1,260.
Yeah, see,
and that's the kicker.
Now do a 20-year or a 30-year loan, the normal loan. What's the payment?
I have that estimate too, and the average payment on that at 7%, 7% is $1,331
a month.
Yeah,
so it's only
like
saving you
$100 a piece. Yep.
Oh crap!
But it's also saving you like $500,000 in fucking payments.
But what I'm saying is, I thought it was going to be like these used car salesmen where they're like, you only got to pay $100 a week. Everybody's approved.
No, because the interest rate is so high. Now here's the kicker.
Right.
This is what a lot of people don't realize. Here's the kicker.
Right.
So you're going to refinance, right? When it goes down, then you're not, because if you got a $200,000 loan, right?
Right.
How long is it going to take you to even start paying on the principal? Because you're paying on the interest first. So it might be 20 years in.
More than that.
If you want to refinance, you still refinancing $200,000 on a house that depreciated.
Right.
So you might not ever get a chance to refinance, and you stuck with this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And you'd be 30 years in before you can even make a profit on it if you sold it. That is stupid.
Think about it, Brian. If a 20-year-old gets a 50-year loan, they're 70 years old before it's paid off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how many 20-year-olds that aren't doing OnlyFans can afford a $200,000 home or to get a house.
I seen.
So most
earlier I seen.
Go ahead.
No,
most of the time it's 25 to 30-year-olds. So do the math. I'm talking to
it's
buy a
worse
house.
than that now. I'm talking about that too.
Okay,
I seen that earlier. That's what. So they say the average homeowner buyer is 59, but the average first-time home buyer is in their 40s. It's 40 something.
Dang.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were younger, it's 20 something years old.
Yeah,
but now
you're not going to live to pay the loan
because
off.
they can't afford it.
Yeah, you're not going to live. Now your family's going to have to fit that bill.
I mean
hey,
just ridiculous.
That's our president that came up with that one. I mean, well, somebody.
Yeah, and so say that goes away and they just give us our $2,000 stimmy check.
Okay.
Okay, so
that's from the tariffs.
It's
the tariffs. It's the tariff check. He's paying everybody back what the tariffs made. Why don't you just put it towards the deficit? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good with that. So
I don't need that money.
You'll give us $500 billion and what do you got the tariffs for? I mean, know what this tells me? That he's not polling good, that he's got to start buying people off.
Yeah. It's kind of like hush money.
I mean, why else would you do if the economy was as good as they're saying it is?
Right.
I don't see it. I mean, let me rephrase that. The economy's not bad. I don't see anything bad with the economy.
Right.
The problem I see is none of the costs are going down. And I mean, with inflation, if you understand inflation, that's not going to happen. The costs aren't going to go down, but we shouldn't be seeing a rise of still 2%. So if we can't bring inflation down, inflation has to be flat. And we can't keep saying inflation's flat at 2%. No, inflation's flat at 0.
Right.
We can't keep saying we got to go up, 2%. No, bring it down to 0. If your tariffs are doing that, and if you can get it to the negatives, great. But at least you should be able to get it to 0. Then I'll say that all this shit's working good.
Right.
But the costs aren't going down. So that makes the economy really look like shit because I don't buy stuff just randomly. I mean, it's not that I can't afford it. It's just so damn expensive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, steak is unbelievable right now. I mean,
I couldn't
if
even
you
tell you
want to
last
eat
time I had
beef,
a steak. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if you want beef,
hamburgers out the wazoo. I mean, I'm paying for hamburger what I used to be able to get a ribeye for, right? So,
man, when we make like potato stew or you know steak gravy, or whatever you want to call it, we call it potato stew because we always had more potatoes and beef in it. But
right.
if you just wanted stew meat, that shit's out the ass. And I mean,
No,
that's just drop off meat. I mean, we're not talking about great lines of meat.
no, that's the stuff that people don't want.
And
That's the cuts off.
yeah, that's
That's
what.
when they're trimming stuff off of the other cuts that people want. That's stew meat for people that don't
And
understand the processing. Look it up.
and if you, I mean, you might think different than me, but I don't believe that this stimmy check. I mean, it's helps at all. And until you get the cost down on us, I don't want to hear how great you're doing.
No.
You know, I just don't. You know, you got to get these costs down. These tariffs are supposed to bring the cost down. We'll
Yeah.
use this $500 billion to get the cost down. Do something with it. Don't give me a damn stimmy check.
Yeah.
You know, make something happen.
Right. And what's funny is like SNAP benefits, back to that. These people are making a lot of money or getting a lot of money for that, Brian, because of the cost of groceries. Well, guess what, homie? I don't get SNAP benefits. So stop jacking up. The people that don't work, living off the government, they're fine. They're always going to get to eat. I'm not. I mean, it's cheaper, really. It's cheaper for me to just go to Taco Bell than it is to go to Walmart and buy food and make for myself.
You know how you get the cost down on that though?
What's that?
If you ever look in, there was a documentary, and I forgot. I wish I could tell you what it is, but there's a documentary that shows how the lobbyists got themselves onto the SNAP benefits. You know, remember whenever they used to just be commodities. You got government cheese. You might have got some powdered
Wick.
milk, and you
Yeah,
got all
Wick.
this other
Yeah,
stuff.
we were on Wick before.
No, I mean no, it was like commodities. You actually
yeah.
would pick this up from a place that kind of like
yeah, you stood in
food
line
bank.
to get it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you got commodities.
Yeah.
And then they went to food stamps and all. And even on food stamps, it was more like WIC. You had a guidelines of what you can get. Well, then
Right.
these lobbyists came in, and that's how you started with this junk food and the sodas. And then, you know, all this other stuff, and how it was accepted at more. You can use them at convenience stores, and you can use it at this store, and you can buy fresh produce, and which I'm not against with the fresh produce. So, I mean, I agree with that. If you went to like a farmer's market or something, and you could use your SNAP benefits. But the lobbyists got into this, and they allowed more and more food to be purchased on EBT.
Right.
And that's why we got to this position. So if you can go back in and limit, hey, look, you can only get the necessities.
Right.
You need a protein, a starch, you know, you need your dairy. These are your five basic food groups. This is where you need to shop.
Right.
That'll do two things. I think that'll bring the cost down because, like you said, they won't be able to, maybe not all the costs because there's still going to be cost in to putting the product together, but it might bring some of the costs down because they won't have all that influx of government money going into it.
Right.
And it'll also, in my opinion, force people to want to go look for a job because you're not just happy eating, you know, what it takes to keep, I'm not going to say what it takes to keep you alive because it's not like prison, but at the same time, you're not being able to buy steak that I can't afford.
Right.
You know, on my government. You
Right.
can't buy things like that because you're restricted.
Right.
So now that you can't buy those things, maybe you might go get a job. So it might help in twofold if you can do that, but you're never going to do that because it benefits their voters and it benefits the people that donate the money. So you'll never get that to happen.
I'm telling you right now, what would be funny with that, and this just popped into my head. I swear for somebody that don't use drugs, it happens a lot. But anyways, you want the government to take care of you? How about the government delivers your food to your door and tells you what meals you're going to eat?
Yeah.
I'm just being
if you
serious.
really want the government.
Yeah, you don't get to go into Walmart or the little country store or whatever with your card no more. Your card's gone. Like HelloFresh, I forget what we just tried, the microwave ones. That type of deal through the government. Hear me out. And government, if you're listening, anybody with the government, this makes a lot of sense. You want to see the people that needs it Start planning their meals for them. This is what we will send you every week. You'll get a box or a couple boxes on your door of food to make certain meals, and we'll have the instructions in there and all that. You don't get lobster tail. You don't get shrimp. You don't get lobster tail. You don't get all that high-end stuff that you were going and buying. You're getting the necessities to eat a well-balanced, like broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, ground beef. You see what I'm saying? You're not getting.
Well, you know what? I like that idea a lot, but you know the problem, and that's not a problem with what you're saying. I think what you're saying is correct, and it would probably be a good plan could you implement it. The problem is they would still find a way to fuck it up because the people selling
that's what
to that program.
Yes, that you said these people when they put restrictions, Brian, what they'll do, they'll come to people like me that has cash, and they'll sell me like $400 of SNAP. They'll go in there and buy $400 worth of groceries for me, and I'll give them $200 cash.
Yeah, I can for like drugs or something.
Well, no, for alcohol.
Oh, because they don't because they restrict it. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's been going on around me for a long time. People on welfare would go find somebody in their family or somebody they knew that had a good job and say, hey, I've got more food stamps than I need. How about we make a little trade? I got $300 left after I went and bought my family's food. I'll for $150, I'll go buy you $300 worth of groceries. You give me $150 cash. And then they got cash for cigarettes, cash for lottery, cash for alcohol, cash for junk food. Because back before there was restrictions. You couldn't buy cooked food to the point that one of our one of our mom and pop grocery stores down here that sells those Hunt's Brothers pizzas. I love them things, by the way. So Hunt's Brothers, if you ever hear us or whatever, I'd love to sponsor you. But anyways, no, them things are good. I could eat a whole one by myself. But people on EBT would go in there and they would pay for it before it ran through the machine. That was the loophole. You weren't allowed to use EBT to buy cooked food. So before they ran the pizza through the oven, they would come in there and pay for the raw pizza. Then the store cooked it for free for them. That's how they worked around. Now, I'm at the store that was sure money. That check wasn't bouncing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It worked out for the store too.
I was going with that though. I mean, so if say the prepackaged food, which I think is a great idea. If I'm the packager,
yes,
right now I have to buy all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what'll happen is you're going to get with the buddy system, and you might be able to get a pound of broccoli for $2, but now they're going to sell it to you for $4 because, like you said, that money's going to go. So now you're going to have all these out of budget things,
Yeah.
And again, either way, this is what's sad about this whole system. Either the person at the bottom is going to get what they want,
right,
and we're still going to lose out, or the person at the bottom is not going to get what they want, but the people at the top's going to always get what they want, and we're still going to lose out. That's the problem with being in the middle.
Convert some of these prison yards into facilities that make this food, right?
Yeah.
Have prisoners grow the vegetables and the cattle and all that stuff.
They do all their own farming here in Louisiana at Angola.
I mean, figure it out. Come out with the EBT version of HelloFresh, and that's what you get. Yeah. And you could be nice, Brian, you could be nice to a point and give them a selection out of all these meals. Select what you want. Right?
Yeah.
But guess what? You're not getting lobster. You're not getting filet mignon. You're not getting ribeyes. You're not getting, and maybe once or twice a year, like the Marine Corps got on their, remember how the Marines would bust their whole food budget for the Marine Corps birthday? By the way,
Yeah.
late birthday, belated birthday to all you jarheads out there.
Yeah, you crayon eating fuckers.
Yeah. Get your
Hoorah.
crayons out. Hoorah. But anyways, yeah.
Hey, look, got my 250 on today.
Yeah, 250. Yeah, I'm just straight black today. But yeah, that's what I'm getting at is maybe once a year they would get a little treat, right? Maybe crank them a 2-liter bottle of pop once a year just to say we're not that mad. But
last week we had talked briefly, and you had mentioned about the big cities, the inner cities,
yes,
making dumb decisions, and I brought up that maybe they're making the correct decisions because of the bubble they live in, and that led me to think about us living in two Americas, and the problem with us living in two Americas is that we have different versions of reality, which is sad.
right.
We almost live in parallel universes where they're like I said last week, they think we're stupid, we think they're stupid, and you can't survive like that. At some point it has to come to a head. And if you look at the congressional map where it shows the voters of, let's just say, the Trump Harris election, and you can see big areas are red throughout the majority of the country, then you get the little spots of blue, right? The big cities, they're all big blue. And and that shows you that the majority of the middle of America is common sense, workers, just normal everyday people.
Right.
And then you have these pockets of I don't know if you'd call them communist, but you have these pockets of people that just on a different wavelength. Now, again, we can play who's right, who's wrong, till we're blue in the face. But we're both, lean conservatively. So, I mean, of course, we're going to think we're right. And what makes us so different is we're everyday people.
Right.
I don't care how you look at it. We're everyday people. We're the people that can fix things. We're the people that can bring you food to your table. And I'm not talking about a waiter. I'm talking about from, pastures to the table.
Right.
We're the people that keep the world, well, our country moving and running.
We keep the lights on.
They're the people that put their names on documents.
Right.
They don't really do anything. It's kind of like, why are the insurance salesmen, and bankers richer than the people that build the fucking houses? They sell the insurance and sell the houses.
Dude, you ever see a bank building when it goes up? That thing's nice as
Yeah,
heck.
I mean, why do we reward people that don't build anything more than we reward people that build anything?
Yeah.
It's because our society is just tilted.
Yeah.
And I can understand why they think that we're stupid. I mean, we don't have high education, so I had to look into it, to see exactly what they think about us. And it is only roughly 21 to 23% of rural Americans 25 plus have a bachelor's degree or higher.
Right.
Compared to roughly 40% in urban areas, and that's a 23 to 24 census. In many deep rural area counties like Appalachia, the Great Plains, and the Deep South, the figures drop below 15%. Which I get that. I mean, the majority of my family hasn't gone to college or university or whatever the hell they want to call it. And so politicians and pundits, they routinely shorthand this into rural equals uneducated. Because we got fewer college, right?
Right.
And then, so for class signaling and cultural distance, so for the elite coastal politicians and staffers, most who went to Ivy League or elite college, elite state school degrees, the bachelor's degree is the minimum ticket into their world. Not having one reads as a profound class and culture marker, even more so than income sometimes.
Right.
And then the rural life priorities are mechanical skills, land management, military service, starting a family or business young, or simply invisible or dismissed as non-education in those circles. So again, they worried about their title and what kind of piece of paper they have, and we worried about what can you do, what can you provide, what services are you good at? I mean, you don't have to give me your damn resume, prove it to me.
Right.
And that is a big gap, dude, a huge gap. How do you get that together?
I don't know. I mean, well, I think there's experiments done. I think you got some stuff on that. It's just, I
Well,
we're idiots, man. We because
yeah.
people like me just want to get up and go to work and do my job and come home and enjoy my house or my off time and then sleep and go back same thing, right? And have my weekends left alone and just leave me alone. And maybe I'm part of the problem too because I'm like that, right? So you got your extreme people out here rioting and uh what else? What they call it, peaceful marching and stuff like that. Well,
Oh,
I'm
your peaceful protest.
yeah, peaceful protesting or whatever it's not that peaceful if you watch it most of the time, but I'm not that person, Brian. I'm not getting up and going somewhere. If I don't like something or somebody that was voted in or whatever, I just still go to work and I do my job. You know, you bring it to my front door, then we got a problem. But as long as you leave me and mine alone, I don't care. I don't care that you're down there at the Capitol or in our bigger cities or whatever, marching up to the governor's house or whatever you're doing. I don't care, but I don't understand how a piece of paper divides us between the elite and the dumb ones.
Well, I always wondered why everyone um, leans so hard into their title. Whenever you get on conference calls and all that, and I don't give a shit about no title. You know, Not that I have one, but I mean, I really don't care what your title is. I
Right.
ever don't. I mean, I'm going to speak to you the same way. If you speak to me with respect, I'm going to speak to you with respect, and you're going to hear what I have to say.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to shy away from what I have to say because, I mean, that's just who I am.
Right.
You know. So it's the title system to me is just watered down, and you can tell me you got this degree from this school and you did this and this and this. I don't care. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me what you can do. Prove to me that you have all those degrees and you can lead me better than I can lead myself, and I will follow you.
Right.
But just because you got a degree and all this shit doesn't mean I have to respect you by any means.
Well,
Now, I'll give you the respect to listen to you,
right.
but that doesn't give me a reason to bow down to you.
Yeah, and I wish we had time to go over that job fair that you and some of the cats in the Marines went to over at California.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
jobs
was
were
sad.
jobs were pushing the college kids away going after you guys because y'all had real life experience. And these college kids, all they had was a piece of paper. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Some of them, they were crying outside,
Yeah,
crying,
because nobody
physically
wanted them.
crying. Yeah.
And
And
then
then, so going back to the socialist thing,
right,
how elites think of us. And if you think about the mindset of a person, if they go to college and if there is a lot of liberalism or whatever you want to say, left leaning stuff in college, and everyone's telling you you have to have a degree.
right,
And then you start rubbing elbows with these people in the higher education, then you want to become that.
right,
And you would think that no matter where you come from, like if you came from a rural area and you went over there, that wouldn't, phase you. You wouldn't be drawn to that crowd. But you would. I mean, and I have some experiments to show you that the mind of a person can be pushed to extremes. And this is the reason why the lockdown works so good. It goes back to my Fast and Furious theory. I forgot about that, but they want to see how far they can push all this shit until people quit following.
right,
Just like Fast and Furious, they want to see how far they can push how you know extreme it is until people quit going to the movie. And it's like, man, it's just far fetched, but hell, they still selling out. Let's see if we can do next. It's the same situation here, and they're constantly gonna push us, and they're gonna see if it worked. And COVID, they moved us to a point to where we all just shut the hell down.
yeah,
And no matter what you say or do, I mean, whenever they said 14 days to no whatever flatten the curve, we whether you liked it or not, you were like, if this is all it's going to take to make this shit go away, fuck it, let's just do it.
right.
and we didn't push back enough. And here's what they call the Milgram experiment. This is AGO 2683. I think I stole it from him on TikTok. Let's check this out.
The Milgram experiment. Imagine sitting in a room with a machine covered in switches labeled with voltages, going all the way up to danger, severe shock, and XXX. A guy in a lab coat tells you to flip those switches, shocking someone in the next room. Every time that person gets a question wrong, you have to increase the voltage. You start hearing screams of pain through the wall. The person begs you to stop, but the guy in the lab coat just says, "The experiment must continue." In 1961, Stanley Milgram wanted to find out what it takes for a normal person to follow a terrible command. 65% of participants kept going all the way to the maximum voltage, even when they heard blood-curdling screams and pleas to stop, even when there was complete silence from the other room, suggesting the person might be unconscious or dead. The person in the other room was actually an actor. The screams were pre-recorded. No one was actually getting shocked, but the participants didn't know that. Some participants were sweating, trembling, having nervous breakdowns, but they kept flipping those switches because a guy in a lab coat told them to. One participant was so convinced he'd killed someone that he offered to return his $4.50 payment. When Milgram asked psychiatrists to predict how many people would go all the way, they said about 1%. They were way off. Normal, everyday people are far more likely to follow horrifying orders than anyone expected.
Yeah, they were only 64% off on that experiment. Predicted 1% would go all the way. I mean, how sick is that?
That shows how weak-minded we are. That we'll do whatever we're told to do, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, so that was done in 1961 to 63.
I know, and you said it said $4.50.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
And then,
what would you do for a Klondike bar there?
Yeah, no shit. Well, I mean, there's multiple experiments like that also. So that one right there proves that we would go a lot further just because someone told us to. I mean, so you're in an experiment, you think somebody's smarter than you, they're telling you to do something, and whether you believe it's good or not, you do it anyway.
Right.
Don't that sound like what Fauci was telling us during COVID?
Yeah.
You know, all these people telling us we need to do this, this, and this, and he says, well, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. We're like, oh, okay. I mean, not that we all went that way, but I mean, that's majority of the United States. I mean, it might have took a month or two for most people to start to wake up, you know?
And these fools couldn't understand that, dude, if you can smell a fart, if you can put a mask on and blow a candle out, microorganisms are getting through that, right? Dude, come on. NBC, you remember NBC training? I mean, that
nuclear, biological, and chemical for people that don't understand.
Yeah, for the military people, the gas mask with the canister, and that thing was only good for so long during the contamination. So people out there still thinking, hey, when flu season's going around, I know Japan, China, a lot of Asian places wear masks during bad flu seasons.
They've always done that, though. Even when I was in Japan, they wore that. Yeah.
And it goes around.
And a lot of them did it because of smog, too, though.
Yeah.
Like in China and all, it was smog related.
Yes. So does it help? It a little bit, just a little bit. But what they had us thinking during COVID was it was like, this is going to keep you guys from getting sick. No, it ain't. Well, no, it's not. If you knew anything about NBC training or anything like that, no, it's not.
Just last night we were we eating at Denny's, you know, because we're high class elites.
Oh yeah, man. That's,
and
geez, I wish I could.
And
afford
our waitress, our waitress who didn't speak, I don't think, any English. I mean, she wore one of those black masks, and it was on her chin the whole night. Well, I can say the whole night, the whole time she half-ass served us. But Jen was like, why she's even wearing it? I said, I mean, you couldn't understand shit she was saying, but it was on her chin. Right. It's like, it's 2025.
Right.
You know, come on now.
Or what about the people riding around in their car with their mask on?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Well, here's one. For all the people that always said, you know, you had that guy in high school that got a badge, and now that he got a badge, he thinks he's Billy Badass. I got something for you. Pretty much Stanford the Stanford prison experiment that they done in 1971 pretty much confirmed exactly what you thought. Now, I'm not saying all police are bad. I think there's a lot of great police out there, but I do believe there's a lot of people, and that's just not with the police department and in
Anybody
any
with
department.
authority. Yeah.
Yeah, they get a little authority, they get fuck out of control. And when you give too
Supervisors,
much authority,
managers. Yeah.
yep. And this proves it, And the only reason why I'm picking on the police department is because this talks about prisoners and prisoner guards. So let's check this out.
The Stanford Prison Experiment. In 1971, 24 college students signed up to get paid $15 a day to play pretend prison. These weren't hardened criminals or trained prison guards. Just regular college guys, picked through a coin flip to play different roles. The prison was just the basement of Stanford's psychology building. Within just 36 hours, these normal college students started turning into monsters. The guards weren't just playing their roles anymore. They were forcing prisoners to clean toilets with their bare hands, making them strip naked and sleep on concrete floors. Some even started using psychological torture, like sleep deprivation and verbal abuse. One prisoner had such a severe breakdown that he started screaming uncontrollably, and that was just day 2. Regular guys who probably helped old ladies cross the street were now making other students do push-ups until they collapsed. The experiment was supposed to last 2 weeks. It had to be shut down after just 6 days. A young psychologist visited the prison and was horrified by what she saw. The lead researcher, Dr. Zimbardo, had gotten so caught up in his own experiment that he didn't see anything wrong. He was acting more like a prison warden than a scientist. It took his girlfriend threatening to break up with him to finally snap him out of it. This experiment showed something scary about human nature. Give someone a uniform, a pair of sunglasses, and a little bit of power, and they might just turn into someone you don't recognize. The experiment was banned and led to massive changes in how we do research on humans.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I mean, first of all, I don't know why we do these experiments, and we let them get out of control. But man, I mean, that is just a bad case of cosplay.
Yeah.
It really is. And I mean, that just shows you, unsupervised, how bad it can get quickly.
Surprised somebody didn't get unalived after that experiment, right? Like one of those prisoners going after one of the guards after they shut it down and put them back out. Like, because I'm sure that messed them dudes up.
Well, in the timeline, it says on day 4, prisoner number 8612 has a psychotic break, screaming and smashing head against the wall, and he was released.
Yeah.
In 4 days.
Yeah.
Prisoners don't go through that, and they put these guys through that. Now, having said that, here's a shout out to the jailers and the police officers. The difference here is the police officers and the jailers are trained to deal with this. They're set, procedures for doing all this stuff. They took just college students and stuck them in these positions
and let them have free reign.
And had them, yep. So, I mean, that explains a lot, so I mean,
and I don't think they gave them a script. I don't think they had a script written for them either. How to, I don't think they were groomed or told how to, the people that got, they flipped a coin to figure out who got what, right? But that goes to show that we go back to the military again, Brian. I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but the unit we were in, there was a certain individual that I felt got some rank that came to us right towards the end. Thank God you got your rank too, and you were the same as him, but he used that rank.
Oh, yeah.
You know where I'm talking about. And was out of line. And it happens all the time. It happens in corporations, military, government, police officer. Yeah, it's bad.
It's there's actually a term for this. It's called Zimbardo's Lucifer effect.
Yeah.
It's the core thesis of Zimbardo's book of Lucifer effect, understanding how good people turn evil.
When given power with no accountability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the evil come out of you, bud.
Again, we're at heart, we're all animals, no matter how you look at it.
Well, and
we're domesticated animals.
Yeah, I mean, some more than others, but I think a lot of that shows the heart of the person too. I mean, you can say you're a good person, but if you turn to that because somebody gave you some power and you got big headed, that was in you the whole time.
And here's the other look at it. I mean, there was 4 guards, right?
Yeah.
Out of those 4 guards, one of them couldn't have stopped it.
Well,
You know?
yeah, but then what do you get to then? You don't want to go against the grain, right?
Yeah. So you probably had one dominant guy that ended up being a guard, and
Right.
he ran the other 3.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
You would have to read in more to it. I looked at it quick. I mean, they are real studies if anyone wants to look them up. One that was the Stanford prison experiment. I mean, it might have been part of MK Ultra. I don't know. I didn't look that deep into it, but they had that. But yeah, and so looking at that and understanding how feeble our mind is,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding how much information we get in a day's time now. I mean, we get so much information. I mean, the information you have right now is already outdated, for the information that's coming out the next minute. It's just that quick.
Right.
So no one really pays attention to anything anymore. And they were talking about how this is causing brain rot in AI. And it's because our kids, or I ain't gonna just say kids, it's a lot of people, don't pay attention to anything anymore. They want these short dopamine hits. So they constantly looking at these short videos of, I don't know, people getting kicked in the nuts, or, you know, cat videos, or just nonsense. And they're not paying attention to what goes on around them. So they're not really picking up anything. So then they start asking AI these stupid ass questions. And AI is constantly developing just like your brain. So garbage in, garbage out.
Mm-hmm.
And MIT did a study, and Chat GPT users show brain activity decay. So like lower creativity, soulless output after months of resilience. And is this bringing us to idiocracy? I mean, if you haven't seen the movie Idiocracy, I mean, please take an hour and a half out of your time or whatever it is to go watch Idiocracy. You'll understand what we're talking about. It's too long to really go over, but it hits the key of where we're going. I mean, we're getting dumber.
Yeah.
By the minute.
Yep.
We're getting so dumb that it's even stated now that a lot of the shows and movies that are made at an 8th grade level because we don't pay attention enough to grasp detailed storylines.
Right.
So in 20 years, we all gonna be watching kid shows.
Yeah.
I mean, how far is this gonna go around? I mean, we are getting dumber by the day or by the generation. And it's sad. I don't remember exactly what a book count was. You can look it up, but it was like at one point, U.S. was reading like 30 something books, and now even including audio books, it's down on average to like 15. Now I can honestly say I don't help that number in no way. I can't tell you the last time I read a book, but I mean,
I've read less than that many.
Now don't get me wrong. I read a lot of articles. I read magazines, but I'm just not much on reading a book. I have a Vietnam book sitting next to me on the couch, and every now and then I'll read it because I'm interested in that, but I don't really consider that a book. It's just a bunch of, stories from Vietnam. So I don't know how you get out of this. I mean, I don't see us putting the phones down. I don't see us taking the phones away from even small kids because it shuts them up. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's the truth. I mean, that's the whole reason you give a kid a phone is to shut them up. I mean, you can say, I'm rude about it or not, but that's it. It just shuts them up.
Yep.
So, I mean, how do we get away from it? I mean, if we having the phones teach them, and I'm not saying we were any better. Our parents were any better. Our parents sat us in front of Sesame Street. We set our kids in front of Barney.
Right.
Now they set their kids in front of whatever weird shit they got on television today. So we've all been part of this, but we're really dumbing down society. If you're not going out and looking for information, there's enough noise out there to keep you buried to where you don't know what's going on. And it's probably better that way right now, honestly. You're probably better off not understanding what's going on because I think that creates a lot of anxiety for people. Me personally, I can shrug it off, but I like I know people that get wrapped up into this, and it's like,
Right.
calm down, dude. Ain't nothing you can do about it today. I mean, I understand it's a problem,
Right.
but you're not changing nothing today. I mean, it takes all of us to change something. You can't change it on your own. So, I mean,
Right.
but there's some people, it's not just on the left. There's people on the right that break
Oh,
down
it's
too.
across the board. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I get tied up on it too. I mean, you're like, hey, I'm just going to watch like a couple of TikToks, and 4 hours later, you're like slobber coming out of your mouth because you've been on it the whole time. And I catch myself now, Brian, I don't watch uh regular TV anymore. The only time I put it on regular TV is for like a football game.
oh, really?
I don't watch the news, like the public news, like my local news. I've got a weather app on my phone. That's what I look to see and I look at the radar. Um, and then I don't, I watch like commercial free. I'll pay the extra money to have the commercial free stuff. So like YouTube, I up my YouTube payment to the premium to not have commercials. I'd I'd rather just watch videos and things like that. So
I agree with that. And I'm glad we have those options. Having said that, what I don't like today is everybody silos themselves into what they're going to watch. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is they don't get enough variety. So I like to watch the world news
yeah,
because I like to know what they're saying. I like to watch CNN. I'll watch MSNBC. Um, I watch some other stuff on television. I like going watch certain podcasts. I like listening to podcasts. I do have my favorites,
oh yeah,
but I also want to see what everyone else is seeing because I find it too easy that you can get siloed into, this is what this person's saying all the time, and now that is all you're hearing, and you just going down that one hole, and the world is so much bigger than that. It's kind of like never leaving Kentucky.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and
You
not
can
knowing
get to a
anything
point to
different.
where
Yeah,
Yep. You'll get to a point to where what you bringing in is exactly what you want brought in. And what's sad is at that point, and I'm not saying you're doing it, but I know a lot of people are doing it
right,
because you can talk to them and you can see how emotional they get. If you getting emotional, in my opinion, about
right,
a politician,
right.
like this politician, you already lost the battle. I mean, you got to stay a little more level headed than that.
Yep.
You shouldn't be bringing emotion into that. It's not emotion. It's you just got to figure this shit out. And I think they get in that way because they're not poison. They're just siloing themselves on this is what they're seeing. They're not getting out of their city in an instance. They're putting themselves in one little bucket, and you can't do that.
Well, and then listening to too much of that stuff or being locked into something that becomes your
Oh
ideal
yeah,
now, right?
yeah. I got to admit, I wasn't into any politics before COVID, and the reason I got into it with COVID is Jennifer would watch that shit, and Trump would come on and have all these big ass press conferences and pretty much tell them to go fuck themselves. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right.
And then the riots happened, and when the riots happened, man, that was like pay-per-view television every night, you know.
Get the popcorn. It's like live
Gotta
PD.
watch the riots. Well, it was, man. It was just it was addictive.
Right.
And so I got to watching that stuff, and we don't watch nowhere near what we used to watch. I listen to podcasts during the day.
Right.
There's a few of them that I like, and I get my information there. I get a lot of emails that I read, from different newsletters and all. I get my information from a bunch of different emails, and like I said, I like watching the local and world news.
Right.
Um, I teach their own. I just you can't get put in a silo yourself in a bucket and want this nation to get better. We have to look at a lot of different things. We have to talk to different people. I mean, just the other day when I was at yesterday at the eye doctor, it was abnormal that me and this other guy were having a conversation, in the waiting room.
Right.
No one else was having conversations. Everybody else on their phone.
Yep.
And it's like that's sad. That's where we go. I mean, you used to have conversations with just random people. I don't know where it is like that all the way in the
Well,
country, but I know here in the South Louisiana, we always talk to everybody. You don't meet a stranger.
because your
You know?
phone's not going to argue with you or tell you something different that you don't
Yeah.
agree with. Because if it does, so if I'm on TikTok and I'm scanning and I see somebody talking about something that I don't agree with, a lot of times I'll just pause it. I go straight to the comments because I want to see
No.
what other people say, right? And then you can tell the difference between like a left wing and a right wing post, because a left wing post will have a bunch of left wingers in there supporting it. And every once in a great while, you'll see a right winger throw their little crap in there. But then when you go to a right wing, or you can just tell who's posting what. But a phone can't argue with you, Brian. So you don't have to see somebody else's view on something. But when you have that conversation like me and you're doing, even though you're Louisiana and I'm Kentucky, we think a lot about the same stuff, but we don't agree on everything. We know that, but we respect one another. But you don't find that with people now. You don't find people that want to talk to other people and find their, even if I don't agree with you, I want to know why you think that way. Does that make sense?
Hey, you said TikTok. I don't read the comments. I told you that before. I don't know. I'm just not a comment reader. But maybe I don't like the drama. I don't know what it is. I don't really read the comments unless I don't understand. If I don't understand the post, I'll read the comments to see what the fuck it was about. Like, I don't understand what this was supposed to be about. But one of my TikToks leans left. My other TikTok leans right.
Right.
So I get a little bit of both sides. That's where I got that James Carville video from, because that wouldn't show up on no right wing and TikTok.
Yeah.
But I guess I need to go look at the comments and see how nasty these people are, because I don't really ever do it. I don't really care. I just want to see what people are saying. And I guess maybe the comments is a different way to look at it that way. So I might do that a little more, just to get an idea. But
and I don't, and call me that coward too. I don't put comments. I think I've commented on one or two TikToks, and sorry for people putting stuff out that maybe you get better support that way, where I totally agree with you. But a lot of times I just, I'll watch your video the whole way through if I kind of agree. If it's going somewhere I don't agree, I also know that's part of the whole TikTok thing, is how long, if your stuff's not getting watched fully, it doesn't count or whatever in the logarithm or whatever. And sorry, but
there's enough people watching our shit count.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, but we enjoy doing this. So, and we even said if we don't get the first viewer, I don't care. We're going to still, this is me and you just talking like we did on vacation or when we talk on the phone. So, I know we kind of got an agenda we go through, but we get off of it a lot.
A lot.
And this is probably one of those ones going back to like our first episode. But hey, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
Yeah, you were just talking about cowards, and that leads me into what we was going to talk about next. About no, hold on, let me go back one further, because I forgot to mention about that British vet. Was going this direction about respecting your country and everything, and and how far our country is going just to shit. Not. Let me rephrase that. This is the greatest country in the world. If you don't believe that, go somewhere else and you'll understand. This is the greatest country in the world. Having said that, I don't think our government don't have our best interests at heart, and that makes things look bad. And there's a lot of people in this country that shit on it because they don't understand what built this fucking country. And that pisses me off to no end. But this week was Veterans Day, and I found a video of this World War II British vet, and I mean, it just broke my heart to hear this guy, talk. And if you hear this and it doesn't, hurt you because of what this guy went through to give you the freedom to have an opinion today, and you still trying to shit on this country, I mean, you have a problem.
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now. And what we fought for was our freedom. We find that even now it's darn sight worse than what it was when I fought for it.
Yeah, and that's a like a 30-minute video, I think it was. This is on timestamp 12:45. But I mean, this guy goes on to say, London's unrecognizable. There's knife crime, no gun zones, and no go zones. And I mean, he stormed Normandy for this.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it's almost
he
sad
was
that he had
struggling to talk,
live.
and he was still getting it out that I can't believe
Yeah.
I went through all that for this.
Yeah, he's sad that he had to live long enough to see what he fought for go to shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is just heartbreaking. I mean, heartbreaking. And if you don't feel that, I mean, there's something wrong with you. I mean, we have a great country.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hearing this and you don't think we have a great country, I challenge you to tell me why, because no matter how many struggles we've had in this country, I mean, we're still free today. Now, it might not be the freedom that we thought we were supposed to have, but we're still freer than every other country on this planet. And we're still the best country on this planet. And if you don't believe it, seriously, go live somewhere for a little while and you'll understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Find out the people that are flooding into our country, where they're coming from, and go live in their country.
Yeah.
It's like AOC and that Omar woman or whatever. They need to go, dude. If you're going to keep bashing this country, then pack and go. Because you're not representing your people.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, any of these people up in there in that government, which we've already talked about this, I mean, it's corrupt from one end to the other. It is. It's a cesspool. And even our president has to dip his toes in that pool to get stuff done. He does. We talked about that too. So at the end of the day, if you want this country to be even better and you hold a seat in Congress or Senate, then start being transparent and working for the people instead of working for special interest and people that are cutting you checks for your campaign. Because it shouldn't cost that much to campaign. It should not cost that much.
No, it shouldn't. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean,
your track record should campaign for you, in my eyes.
Yep.
You shouldn't have to have commercials bashing the other person and all this other crap. Your track record of what you're voting for and what you're pushing should re-elect you or elect you. So go ahead.
No, I mean, some guys, I mean, I'm not going to say you should have to spend that kind of money, but it should come down to where it used to be. Just let's go have some town hall debates.
Yeah.
Let's have town hall debates and let's let the people hear it, and let's do it the whole damn time. I mean, that's how they used to have to do it. I mean, the only way they can get their word out is by word of mouth. So let's have it. Let's do it live. Let's quit recording this shit. Let's show you mistakes in real time.
Right.
Let's see exactly who you are. I mean, right now you can be whoever you want to be because, the way Hollywood can make that shit look.
Right.
But let's go out there and see who you are.
This is the Sense and Senseless podcast.